Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Thursday, June 13th, 2019. We have a game that starts in just minutes, so we'll do this real quick and then we'll review the Pirates at the Braves. So far, the Braves have swept this series. We've been 3-0 in this series. We're doing well here. Today's probably the tightest game in the series. Today, the Pirates have a decent riddle to get the win. Joe Musgrove on the mound. He's number 59. He's 21-27 for his career. He could pick up his 22nd win today. Today does have 22 date numerology. Braves also equals 22. So fitting date, fitting opponent for Musgrove to get the 22nd win. Musgrove, if he lost, he would be 4-7 on the season. Pirates is 47, but I prefer the opponent and the date numerology for the probable outcome there. Musgrove's 2-0 versus the Braves for his career. The Braves this season are 4-2 versus the Pirates. If they lost today, they would be 4-3. Pirates does equal 43. The Braves are also 3-0 at home against the Pirates. If they lost today, they'd be 3-1 at home. The Pirates would also pick up their 31st win, and you have a 31 date numerology today as well. So I think the narrative's a little bit better for the Pirates today. They're still looking for a win in this series. They can avoid getting swept with a win today. The one thing that could go against the Pirates is they could pick up their 38th loss on the lesser date numerology at 38, and this series has followed the lesser date numerology so far. They got the 35th loss, the 36th loss, and the 37th loss, all on the corresponding date. But again, we see a lot of riddles that go through a series get broken in the last game, so have to give the edge to the Pirates today. But if you don't want to take the risk on them picking up that 38, understandable. Maybe you just want to stay flawless in that series. So that said, let's go back and review yesterday. Definitely wasn't the greatest day yesterday, and I saw that coming. Like I said, yesterday the games weren't that great. The Athletics and Rays game, couldn't make a call on it. The riddle went both ways. Same with the Reds and Indians. You had riddles on both sides. We talked about the Rockies winning the first two games of this series, which they did, and losing the third. That's exactly what happened. Cubs got that 38th win against Colorado. Again, Colorado in 38 just plays and plays and plays and plays. One more time, Colorado 38. It's the 38th state. Colorado Rockies equals 163, which is the 38th prime. This game was played on the 163rd day of the year. The Rockies did have a narrative if you followed the date numerology, but that's that thing about patterns getting broken in the last game of the series. So that's why I said this game yesterday was playing with fire. The initial thought was right, but the Rockies, they did have the date numerology going again. So the Rangers and the Red Sox, I thought this 13-18 thing was going to come through. Started with the 666th game. The Rangers won the first two. They were one away from getting 13-18 away. I'm surprised that didn't happen. So the Boston baseball team won. The hockey team did not. Had the Rangers won yesterday, they would have picked up the 37th win on the lesser date numerology at 37 as well. The series had followed that. Rangers equals 37. So I'm surprised that pattern got broken that game. Diamondbacks, they did have the riddle to win yesterday. Phillies were going to pick up the 30th loss on the 30-date numerology. They did. Thought before the series began that the Phillies would get to 39 wins, but that was dependent on them winning that first game, which they didn't. So that's why I advised if you took that bet at the beginning of the series, I'd bet Diamondbacks yesterday to hedge your bet because the date numerology was there. 30th loss on the 30-day. In regards to the 37-date numerology yesterday, it was the 12th of the month. 37 is the 12th prime. We said the 37s and 12s might play. Blue Jays got their 12th away win of the season. Cardinals and Marlins didn't have a read on this game. I was expecting the Marlins to win the game prior, and had they, I would have liked the Marlins a lot yesterday because I was thinking they were going to win 2 in a row. Well, the Marlins ended up winning. They made the Cardinals 33-33 and the Marlins 24-42. Marlins did pick up their 12th home win, 37 date, 12th of the month, 37-12 prime. So that 37-12 did play here. Guess should have rode that. After the prior game was broken, though, and didn't follow the riddle, got cold feet on that one. But the 37-12 did come through. Like the Braves yesterday, Pirates picking up that 37th loss. Atlanta Braves 37. That's also another reason that makes sense for the Pirates to win today. Is just that they would stay on 37 losses in the series. Atlanta Braves equals 37. Tigers had the better riddle yesterday. The pitcher stayed on 21 career losses with the Tigers on a 21 date numerology. Royals stayed on 21 wins on the 21 date numerology as well. About the only thing to go off in those games. The Astros, what worried me about the Astros was Justin Verlander, because his numbers looked right for not winning. He didn't get credit for the loss, but there was reason to believe he wouldn't win yesterday. He had 30 wins with Houston. It was a 30-date numerology. I did still think the Astros would take the game, though, because the Brewers could have got the 30th loss on the 30-date numerology, and they did not. So had they lost, they would have gone into their next series on 38 wins, and their next opponent's name equals 38. One other thing we talked about with the Astros is they could stay on 46 wins because Milwaukee equals 46. So does Houston, Texas. So that's actually what ended up happening there. The Mariners and the Twins. The Twins had a good riddle yesterday. I said the only thing that could go against them is staying on 44 wins because Seattle equals 44. Perhaps Seattle will surprise and beat the Twins again and keep them at 44 one more time. That is a Seattle number. So. And the Padres and the Giants stayed on 38 losses. San Diego's 38, Giants 38, the overlap number. They could have picked up their 21st home loss on a 21-date numerology, but did not. I did think the date numerology would prevail, but we did see the overlap number on 38. So that's why yesterday's games were some definitely iffy games. But that was that. And then in the NHL, we know that the St. Louis Blues came through. And like I said, I mean, I won't be shocked if they win. They were going for the magic number. Would they get rid of NHL because the season's over? Where's it at? It's already down here at the bottom. So anyway, we did see the magic number. 57 in championships. It comes again and again and again, just like how the Warriors finished the season on 57 regular season wins. The Blues picked up their 57th win against Boston on a 57-date numerology. Couldn't have been any more perfect in terms of that. And, you know, if the riddles weren't so nice with Boston had great riddles yesterday too. 313 days after Brady's birthday, the 65th prime, Boston going for their 65th win of the season. George Herbert Walker Bush's birthday, Mr. 322, born right outside of Boston. Boston going for their 322nd, playoff franchise win. Before Game 6, we started talking about how it could line up that way. And then we were saying if Boston wins 2, they'll be 16-8. Boston Bruins equals 168. And then later that day, after Boston wins, we get the story of David Ortiz shot in the Dominican Republic. Dominican Republic 168, like Boston Bruins, like how they were going for 16-8. Plus, he was born on the 322nd day of the year. So, I mean, it seems like with each passing year, the riddles become more complicated. And, 4 years ago, it was nothing like this. So all I can think is, yeah, they're definitely on to us, and they figured out how to really stack the deck. I wonder if that David Ortiz story would have even happened, 4 years ago. So he was the MVP in the World Series against St. Louis years ago. And, one other thing that I slept on is St. Louis area code. This could have helped us out in a big way. Again, those area codes, man. St. Louis area code is 314. In this process, there was a point when they were 3-14 in Stanley Cup playoff games, 3 wins, 14 losses. Yesterday was also Brady's 314th day of his age. It was 313 days after his birthday, his 314th day of his age. Of course, Brady's first Super Bowl was defeating St. Louis. But, yeah, again, The other thing was Boston with a loss at home would become 7-6, and Blues equals 76, and now all the Boston fans have the Blues, and there probably is some symbolism in that. You know, I'm thinking Boston's probably not going to be winning any championships for quite some time now. So I'm thinking the Patriots runs over, and they've had a lot of success. So anyway, pretty amazing to think how they came up one short of the 3-2-2 on Bush's birthday, and also that, I mean, they could have been 8-5 at home. That would have tied all three championships together: Boston 85, Red Sox 85, National Football League 85, Brady 85. So they couldn't have scripted it any tighter in this case. Okay, so that is the review. Let's see. What's up, man?
Hey, so before I get into the baseball games, because I broke down all of the games for today using my production rule thing, but I wanted to say this about the game yesterday in terms of the Blues. For that, someone had found this thing on Twitter regarding the year of the pig and year of the snake, how they're kind of like opposed to one another. And I think 2013 was the opposite of this year. Then I forget what this year is, but because of that, it seemed to line up with the sync regarding Ortiz in 2013 as well.
Okay.
Well, it's just an idea. I mean, it's sort of an abstraction, but it is what it is.
So, well, what's the point though? Red Sox, did they win that year?
Yeah, they won. That was the marathon bombing year, I believe, 2013.
Okay.
That was the whole Boston Strong thing.
Okay.
So with Ortiz, the leader of Boston Strong, kind of getting taken out, it kind of makes a little bit of sense. But again, that's something I'm not really as familiar with, so I don't really want to comment too much. But if people want to look it up, Year of the Pig versus Year of the Snake.
Okay.
So for baseball today, before I get into baseball today, so let's talk about the A's game. The A's game was interesting. So they beat the Rays. They go to 36-34, like 9-7, 97. Athletics equals 97. The Athletics equals 34 also. So they would go to 18-19 away, like 91 or 9. If you drop the one, OAK equals 9. Anderson equals 90. 18 wins away would also match Rays equals 18. Rays currently were at 41-26, then they went to 41-27, which is like 58. Or, well, hold on, I think that's what the record was after. So it became 5-8, 58, Oakland equals 58. Then they go to 41-27, like 5-9. And then that also sets up this case where they might win 2 straight. So they go to 43-27, 7-9, Tampa Bay equals 79. Staying on 18 away losses for A's. We'll miss 18 to numerology yesterday. And then sets up to 74-47 for Anderson, who is at 6-4. And then the Indians is like one coming up. But I wanted to talk about, just give like a quick list. So for today, the leans are Mariners, Pirates, then Braves winning 3 in a row. Baltimore with Toronto losing 3 straight, including the first 2, the Astros. Then they win on 6-16.
I think the Braves would win 4 in a row if they won today.
Well, yeah, maybe, but there's a case against them.
No, I thought you just said you liked the Braves to win today, 3 in a row, and I was just saying I think they've already won 3 in a row.
No, I said Pirates, then Braves winning 3 in a row.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I think the Pirates got the better riddle today too. Okay, I misunderstood you. You talk fast, so.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just trying to list off what I'm thinking for today, and then I'll go to each individual game and kind of give a detailed explanation. Because I think this rule with the reduction in the record is probably the biggest thing that no one had seen before, and it seems to come up quite a bit. During that Red Sox game, there was a 31 encoded into the records with how the Rangers record went to. So it's just something to think about.
Sure. Well, there was a riddle for the Red Sox to win yesterday. I just thought they'd do the 13-18 thing after the whole 6-6-6 start. So
yeah, but Rangers went to 12-19 away. 12-19 becomes 3-1 or 3-10. Red Sox equals 31.
well, Boston, I think.
Or yeah, either one of those. Yeah. But you see what I mean,
right?
So then Baltimore, they would have Toronto lose 3 straight. Then first 2 against the Astros for the Orioles, they'd lose and they'd win on 6-16. Diamondbacks, I think they win 2 straight. Tonight, the Angels game, I'm kind of conflicted. I'm sort of leaning Angels, but that one's a little tougher. The Mets game, they should win 2, or if it doesn't go where they win 2 in a row, they go 1-1 next 2 games. They should win tonight.
If they win tonight, they stay on 11 home losses through 31 games, 31 the 11th prime.
Yeah. And then Red Sox, they should win tonight, but this is also one I kind of avoid. Same thing with the Royals. White Sox should win. Rockies should win 2 straight. And then I'm leaning Dodgers, but that one wasn't as clear. And then in terms of the Indians coming up for that series tomorrow, they should drop 2 straight to the Tigers. So let me kind of go back to what I'm thinking. So yesterday I had mentioned the 36-33 thing for the Diamondbacks, 96. Diamondbacks, it was 96. I had also mentioned the Mariners sending the Twins to 44-22. Twins equals 22, I believe, or something like that. And then it sets up to 8-4, 84. Minnesota Twins equals 84. And today, if the Twins drop one more, they go to 44-23, like 85. Twins equals 85. And it sets up 20-11 home record for the Twins, which is like 22 on 22-day numerology. And then Seattle would improve to 17-20 away, 82 like 82. Seattle equals 82. Mariners currently at 29-42, like 11-6 or 1-6. Mariners equals 119 today. It's also Thursday, which equals 116. And then it's also the 72nd game for the Mariners, and the record encodes 72, 16, and 20 in terms of their away record. And so if you also apply this same kind of principle, it also comes up when you combine the overall and the home record and the overall and the away record, depending on which team it is. And so if you actually look at that Red Sox game, so the 35-34, like 87, 16-17, like 7-8 in terms of their home record. Combine those, you get 15-15, which is another 1 + 5 = 6. So 66. Texas equals 66. So I'm telling you, this stuff is like all over the place. And it seems to be that most people don't catch this, but it's because they're looking at the individual number in the winner and the loss column. But they do a couple things. They do this reduction, as well as they, instead of writing it win then loss, they also write it as loss then win. And so when you start seeing these overlaps, it makes a lot of sense why games don't go by the day numerology, or they don't go by some other really strong indicator. Because I see so many people that post like a really long decode, and it's like, oh, they got like 100 different things going for this one team, and then the team loses, and then they never go back and figure out why. I've started to go back, and most of the cases of these teams losing are really kind of easy games because of the reduction rule. If you apply it, you find the gematria relationship within the record, but it's not at the surface level. Okay, so
well, it is kind of at the surface level. That's what you're saying. If you just take the numerology and break it down, like for example, if the Rangers lose today, they'll be 12-20 away, and 12 is 3, and 20 is 2, and Boston equals 32.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, it's pretty surface level. Yeah. No.
It's surface level in terms of it's not looking at the individual like number in the win or the loss column. You're having to apply the rule of numerology. So in that case, it's not surface. It's still there no matter what, the rules of numerology. But most people just don't understand this stuff.
Sure. Well, I mean, it's pretty simple to understand. So, yeah, I do see your point. I think that this very well could be a missing piece that we've been looking at this time. So,
So if you look at Pirates game, Joe Musgrove for the Pirates is 4-6 today, Thursday, equals 46. The Braves losing sets up a 39-30, which is like 12-3 or 33. Atlanta equals 33. Well, sorry, ATL equals 33. ATL was a big thing that they pushed with the Super Bowl as well. You would see then the Braves win 3, since the Braves would go to 19-16 tomorrow, like 107. Is 1 + 9 = 10, and then 1 + 6 = 7. And if they win 3 out of 4, so that they go to 22-17 at home, which is also 48. Atlanta equals 48. ATL equals 48.
sure. Well, I just right on the surface too. So there was a reason to like the Pirates today, but if they do win today, the Pirates, they would be 31-37, right? So 31 in numerology is 4, and 37 is 1, so they'd be 4-1, and Braves is also 41. So yeah.
I'm telling you, like once you start doing this, you're gonna see it all over the place. And if you go back to like any of the games,
you got to be careful though, because like yesterday, I remember you liked Orioles because you were saying how it could do the. You're making the point about 5 and 8. Forget how it went yesterday. They were what? They were 20. Well, but
I think the only ones that really called in yesterday were about the Diamondbacks. Sure. I might have mentioned like a surface level thing about the Orioles, but I forget.
Sure, you had some point about 5 and 8 with the Orioles yesterday. I think it's if the Blue Jays stayed at, that's what it was. If the Blue Jays stayed at 23 wins and got their 44th loss, they'd be 5 and 8 because 23 would be 5 and 44 would be 8, and Baltimore's 58. But now notice if the Orioles, if they come back and win again today, they'll be 22 and 46. 22 is 4, 46 is 1, so 4-1. Baltimore's also 41. So you can end up making the same mistakes by doing this, but I do think this method can fill in the gaps if there's not a read maybe with the date numerology or just the gematria on the surface. So, yeah, I'm with it, man. I mean, it makes sense. It's in the same line of thinking of what we're already doing with the games. So
if you think then about Toronto's at 12 and 21 on the road right now. So they lose 3 more, they would drop to 12 and 24, 3-6, like 36. Toronto equals 36. And then like in terms of the Diamondbacks game, if they continue their winning streak with 2 more, they go to 38 and 33, like 11-33. They love these massive numbers. So it's not always that you're going to find the gematria of the team or the games played number reflection. The other case is that you're going to find massive numbers. Like if you look at a lot of the games on today, there's like a 38 and 29 kind of record all over the place. Some games, that's another 11-11.
Sure. And today's got the 31 date numerology, the 11th prime.
Yep. And then if you look at the Nationals, there's 31-36, like 49. Washington equals 49. They could drop 31-37. Oh, wait, hold on. For that one, I might have, because like last night I was doing this and I had like these like notes, but some of them are mixed in with recapping yesterday. But going to 31-37 would be like 41, or reflection of 14, Washington equals 140, WSH equals 14. And then in terms of if the Nationals lost the game on 6-14, they would fall to 31-38, like 411-42. Arizona equals 42. Diamondbacks equals 42.
Arizona's on a tear right now. I was just thinking that if the Nationals lost 3 in a row, they'd get to 39 losses, that Arizona number. That didn't work out for the Phillies, but it's still there on the board. So
the only thing concerning is Diamondbacks are 22-17 away. They could fall to 22-18 away, like 49 or 49. Well, 4-9, 49. Washington equals 49.
Right.
And then it just seems like them winning 2 more is more likely though.
I think Diamondbacks is 75 too. Let me type that in real quick. So yeah, this method won't be foolproof either, just because you're going to run into things. So yeah, Diamondbacks is 75. So if the Nationals won today, they'd be 16. Or no, actually, that's not quite the same. But
well, if you look at this, it's not necessarily like you're looking at it in a vacuum. I mean, you're still looking at all the other reads. So This is more so just a way to to break the 50-50 tie, so to speak.
Sure, another level of verification. Yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise we're just looking at what amounts to lineup or overlaps that can apply to both teams, and it's never really a super strong indicator.
Well, sometimes it's good when you get the date numerology on both sides. That's usually pretty good, like the old Rockies and Cubs series there. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely times when they do that, but it's just a matter of when that's not there, then there still has to be them encoding it. Like yesterday with that Twins game, they went to 20-10 at home. That's a 2-1, 21-day numerology.
Right.
And today it sets up the 22-day numerology to lose again. Whereas the inverse was that if the Twins won yesterday, they'd go for the 21st, 22nd, 23rd win at home, fit in the day numerology.
Right.
So, if you look at the Angels record right now, they're 14-17, like 58. It would set it up if they win, it would go to 15-17, like 57. You drop it once. If they lost next game, it would create 15-18, like 58. That's either. I think that game, I have to dig out more notes, but it was one that was kind of iffy. In terms of the Mets, though, Mets either win 2 straight or win one, or go 1-1 the next 2. So they're currently at 33-34, like 6-7. If they won 1, they'd go to 34-34. Another Ortiz tribute with master numbers because it's 7-7.
Why would they get an Ortiz tribute? Just because they're facing the Cardinals, who Ortiz faced?
No, it's more so. I mean, that one, yeah, there's the Ortiz thing, but I think the main thing is the master number. Like, they love master numbers.
Sure. Well, Mets win today too. They stayed 11 home losses in 31 games, and it seems like that for whatever reason in that 31-11 pairing, it's playing more consistently than not. So.
Yeah, but yeah, the 2011 home record, which is like 22, and then if the Mets win, they also go to 24-21 night record, which is like 63. Cardinals equals 36-63. The night day record thing, I'm not convinced about, but I mean, there seems to be some overlap there as well. In terms of the Red Sox, so I kind of mentioned before, but they go to 17-17 home, 22-23 night, which is another 77 coding.
Yeah.
And then you'd have the 4-4, like 44, instead of a night game loss to get to 22-23 or 4-5 loss equals, or BOS is 45. And then Tigers, they're at 25-39, like 7-12 or 73, reflection of 37. Detroit equals 37, currently at 14-18, like 48. I'm dropping the ones, reflection of 84. Tigers equals 84. They're 11-21 in night games. The Tigers will lose next game against the Royals and go to 11-22 night. Detroit equals, DET equals 11. Tigers equals 33. And it creates another mass number setup. It's Kansas City Royals equals 220, like 22.
Royals have a shot at that 22nd win on the 22 date as well.
Yeah, and then the Tigers' night record also fits abstractly with Kansas City Royals equals 212 because it would be 11-21, like 2 and 21, and if you rearrange it, it would be 2-1-2.
Kansas City Royals is 2-1-2, yeah.
That one, like, again, I'm just kind of watching that pattern when they write the loss and the wins, but it fits in when you think abstractly about Hebrew versus English in terms of right versus left, left versus right, in terms of how they read the numbers.
Okay.
So it's just something I think about. I look at all of these different possibilities because it's all based upon esoteric sciences. And so it's just a matter of understanding what are the occulted rules of numerology or occulted rules of how they do this stuff to tie in. And that's why I think that even if you catch on to these people, they're not going to change it up super fast because they set it up so far in advance.
Sure.
And the rules are thousands of years old.
Right, indeed. The White Sox, did you say earlier that you like the White Sox to win today?
Yeah.
Okay.
So for that one, the Yankees and White Sox have the same record reduction currently, 41-25, like 5-7.
And White Sox is 57.
Yep. And both are playing their 67th game. And so either one can get to 6 and 7. Which, I mean, this is why it's kind of crazy.
Well, the White Sox would pick up their 19th home win in their 67th game, and the Yankees would stay at 19 away wins in their 67th game. So,
yeah, if Yankees lost, it's up to 19-13 away record, like 9-3 to drop the ones, reflection of 39, which fits in with that whole idea I mentioned before about the reflections and how it wanes.
okay.
And then White Sox would improve to 19-15. Which is like 1 and 6 or 16. CHW equals 16. And if you look at Padres and Rockies, that one is another one that's kind of weird. The Rockies are currently at 35-32, like 85. 85 is reflection 58, the Freemasonry number. Rockies equals 35. Reduction of Rockies' night record is 21 and 23 is 3-5, like 35. So there's a sync with the name. If the Rockies won, it would improve to 21-13 at home, like 3-4 or 34, which could be another Ortiz thing. Who knows? San Diego equals 43, reflection of 34. Colorado equals 133, and the home record would also set up with 3-13 or 13-3 if you switch to the loss in the win columns. So, I mean, there seems to be something there. Like, if the Rockies win, I'm definitely going to start watching them swapping the loss and the win column. And then if they actually win 2 straight against the Padres, they'd go to 37-32, like 1 and 5 or 15. COL equals 51-15. And then in terms of the Cubs game tonight, so the Cubs are at 38-29, which is like the 11-11 I was mentioning.
Uh-huh.
And there's also 31, 22, 38, and 20 data numerology today. So a bunch of master numbers on the board. CHC at LAD equals 31, 22, 131, and 32. So this sort of lean for the Cubs because it sets them up for the 39 date numerology coming up. However, that isn't that strong, I think. If you look at the Cubs away record, it's 14-18 or 5-9, like 59. The night record is 23-17, like 5-8, 58. So if it was think they would lose the game, because there is this possibility where the day-night record has insight into the next possible game record. Because there's the 58, but there's also the 59, so they could go to the 59. And I've noticed this with a couple other games where they've done this, where the day-night record will encode what happens next, almost, just by using the reduction sign.
Okay. Well, I'll keep an eye on it. Yeah, I think it's interesting, so I appreciate it, man.
If they have the 58 date numerology going into 59, the Dodgers would kind of fit in with that in terms of the sync for them to win. So that one is one I'm not as confident about. The ones that seem the best today are Mariners, Pirates, Orioles, Diamondbacks, and then probably Mets. Red Sox too, actually, because I think you mentioned a couple of those things that seem to stand out as well.
Okay. All right. I'll keep an eye on it, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, no problem.
Bye.
Okay. So, see what happens there with the Pirates and Braves. It's our early game. The Mariners. So, caller likes the Mariners to upset again today. Again, the one thing that the Mariners had going yesterday was the potential of keeping the Twins at 44 wins because Seattle's 44, and they did do it even though the date numerology went against them on both sides. So it makes me – oh, hold on. We got another call here. Caller.
Hey, what's up, Zach?
What's up, man?
Hey, I want to bring up yesterday. Remember I told you that game was a lock, that Cubs game?
Oh, yeah, them getting 38 against Colorado.
Yes. But the reason being, I just want you to just remember, it just comes quick to me, man. Like, I was looking at little things, like, it was all a prophecy tribute. Like, they 38 and 29, correct?
Sure. I mean, to me, it's not about prophecy, that game. I don't like to say that everything's prophecy. It's like Colorado's the 38th state. So.
Well, you didn't listen to me. I said Coors Field equals 106 and 52, Zach.
I remember you
That's
said
prophecy.
that. I remember you said that. But
So if Coors Field equals 106 and 52, look at the main four ciphers, Zach. 106, 52, 38, 29. They gave you the whole prophecy yesterday. How you can't deny that.
well, the numbers do align. You're right, but it's just like I don't know. I mean, like I know what a city like Philadelphia has to do with prophecy.
It's all about God. It's all about God, man.
Well, the
It's all
Denver
about
Broncos
God.
didn't win Super Bowl 52 is my point. Like I know what a city like Philadelphia has to do with prophecy, but I don't know what a city like Denver, Colorado does. So
It don't. It's about the field they playing on. You know what I'm saying?
well, I agree with the field they're playing on. That's why before the series began, I said I like the Rockies to win the first two and probably lose that third game to get the 38th loss in Colorado. Yeah, I mean, you could be right, man. I just don't like to say everything's prophecy. So
Yeah, because yesterday I know, man, and I try to stay on the same page with you, man. Like sometimes I think you like, I don't know, man. Like I don't know. Like sometimes I feel like you be thinking I be talking crazy. Sometimes I feel that's how I feel, man. You know what I mean?
I don't think you're talking crazy. I'm just saying that I don't want to chalk up everything to prophecy. I don't want to, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I talk about that a lot with the Philadelphia teams. And, you know, I talk about it with the Prince example because the last game he ever went to a basketball game was with the Warriors who are from Philly. Yeah, so, I mean, like there I see how it fits in. But you were right about what you said, though, how all those prophecy numbers come together. You are right about that. So.
Yeah, and then, like today's Zach, man, I'm going to mention it again, man. Do they stay at 58?
Who?
I know, because I just...
Oh, you're talking about the NBA. You're talking about the NBA game?
Yeah. You know, like, is that a mockery, man? You know, Zach, Golden State have won a lot, man. Like, do Vegas get all their money back this time? Just like the Blues yesterday, you know? It's like, man.
It's possible. You know? I think the Raptors are on 58. The Raptors are on 58 losses against the Warriors, if I remember right.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right.
So
Oakland 58, Kawhi Leonard 58, 58 numerology.
Right. If Steve Kerr coaches one more game after this one, he gets to his 106th. And if the Warriors, I believe if it does go to that next game in Toronto, I think Toronto's in big trouble because if they lose that game, they'll be 9-5 at home. Warriors equals 95. They were established in 95, and that game's on Steph Curry's 95th day of his age. So
correct. And then what else I was gonna mention to you? Yeah, man, it's tough, man. I don't know. Well, this is what I mentioned. You know, Drake, the sixth God, that's what they call the city. You know what I'm saying? We've been seeing the sixth shit the whole time, you know?
Sure, but that's Toronto that's the sixth. This game's not in Toronto.
I know, but it's back to me, man. Like Oracle being 106 feet tall, prophecy 106.52. You write out 60 equals 52. It just, man, I don't know, man. I could be wrong.
The best riddle for the Raptors today is to stay on 58 losses against Oakland. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I saw that too. It's going to be another tight one, but so.
Yeah, hopefully we get it right this time, man. I want to work hard. All of us be together and be on the same page. Like, let's get this right today, man. You know. Hey, and one quick thing. I don't know if it's off subject. Did you do Nelly birthday to the game for the Blues game?
Nelly? Oh, the rapper Nelly. I forgot. He's from St. Louis, right?
Hey, you should do it real quick, Zach, for shits and giggles, because I was watching ESPN. They were showing him. He was like, "Go Blues" and all this shit. And you know he's the biggest rapper in St. Louis.
Right, I forgot about him.
I hope we didn't miss that. Watch this shit. Gonna be some stupid shit.
I don't know what his birthday is. Hold on.
Yeah.
He's born November 2nd, 74.
November 2nd, 112. Oh my God.
Let me see.
74 God numbers. It's just stupid, man.
Let me see. But yeah, the thing I'm mad about, that I'm annoyed with myself, is that I didn't realize that St. Louis was the 314 area code. That would have helped us out earlier in the series. That would have made it pretty easy to see they were going to 3-14 in the Stanley Cup.
Oh my God, Zach Pye. And look, I'm up here working in Missouri, and that is the area code.
You know what's interesting is if I'd seen this piece about Nelly, I probably would have thought this was favorable for the Blues because the Stanley Cup was on his 223rd day of his age, and the guy who shot David Ortiz, his name equals 223 as well. The reflection of 322.
Damn, man.
But yeah, so that one helped me pick the Blues in that one. I would have thought that was a good sign for Boston as well.
Yeah. Wow.
Also, it was 31 weeks and 6 days, and I'm pretty sure if St. Louis lost, they would have been 3-16. They would have been 3-16, which would have also synced up with his birthday. So sometimes, man, sometimes I really do think that they script these championships and they have alternate scenarios, and I don't know if they decide based on the way the money is or if they so.
And what's so crazy to me, Zach, man, is like, how the fuck it be so perfect, dog? Like, how did it be so perfect to the T, dog? Like, it's incredible, man.
Well, that's what I was saying too about yesterday, because it's like, well, shit. Now I'm going against 57. When do I go against 57 in championships? And that riddle had me going against 57. So that's what I was saying yesterday. If the Blues win, I'm not going to be shocked because that 57 is just staring us right in the face. Plus, every team who's swept has lost in the next round, so that also continued for the Bruins. And the one thing was, the amazing thing is that if the Bruins won, they became 8-5 at home, and we know all about 85. But if they lost, they became 7-6, and Blues is 76. So it's like, yeah, those are the kind of things where it's like, how the fuck can I have to be deciding between these two things, man? But that's the way it is. So.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that's crazy, man. But yeah, man, it's crazy. After I thought about Nelly, it was too late. And I was like, man.
Well, I'll tell you what, that thought it would have been a good thought, but yeah, that thought would have led me on the wrong path too. So.
Yeah, cool. Okay. Well, all right then, Zach. I'm gonna call back when you do the basketball.
All right, appreciate it, man. All right, thanks.
Yep.
And yeah, I don't think he's crazy. It's just I'm going to argue with you guys on some things because I'm just like, is everything prophecy? I mean, maybe everything is coming down to the prophecy code. I know it applies to certain teams, but he was right about his point he made yesterday. So I'm not trying to rain on his parade. But again, my point was, okay, am I going to credit the 38th win to prophecy or to the fact that Colorado in 38 comes together all the time? That's just all I'm saying. So, okay. I do agree that the Mariners have a shot to win yesterday because they did win yesterday, and that was the one thing. And they keep them on 44 wins. And the caller's saying that if you do these numerology breakdowns, so 44 would become 8. 4 plus 4 is 8. And if the Twins lost today, 23, 2 plus 3 is 5. So they'd be 44 and 23. The numerology 8 and 5, like 85. Twins is 85. We've already seen a number of 85 riddles play with the Twins this year. So he's really right to have this thought. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with him at all. It's gonna, when you start looking at things like this, because we know the date numerology plays, we know the prime number relationships play. You start looking at one more thing, it's going to make things even cloudier sometimes. But when there's nothing else to go off of, this could be the missing piece to fill in the gap. So you're going to have to be good with your team and city name Gematria, and then just making sure you're doing your math right. He was also saying if the Twins lost, notice if the Twins do lose, you get the prime number thing, right? They stay at 20 home wins through 31 games, meaning they get the 11th home loss in their 31st home game, 31 the 11th prime. That grouping, that prime number relationship, the total count and the prime number had not been consistent, but it seems that with the 11, the 31-11, it has. And today has 31 date numerology, so more reason to believe in it. If the Mariners win, what would that do? That would make them 30 and 42, so that would be 3 and 6. I don't really know how that goes with their numbers. They'd be 17 and 20 away. Well, that would make sense because 17 is 8, 20 is 2, so you get 8-2. Seattle's 82. So the Mariners have been a funny team. They've been on some other different type of numerology ever since they started 13 and 2. Like we had the Mariners locked in to go 12 and 2 once they got off that hot start. It was perfect, but then ever since then, it's like they've just been a goofy team. There's been some games that have been okay, but So I'm going to keep an eye on that. And let's see. Twins can pick up 11th home loss and 31st home game. 31 the 11th prime. Okay. So this Blue Jays and Orioles game, what was it? There wasn't a lot going on here. The one thing that was standing out to me is just the Blue Jays can pick up that 22nd loss on the 22-date numerology. That would also give the Orioles their 22nd win on the 22-date numerology. Toronto's the favorite today. This guy's still looking for his first win of the season. I always like when the date numerology is on both sides. So also just going with the guy's date numerology, thought if the Orioles did win, 1 second, Izzy. If the Orioles did win, they'd be 22, which breaks down to 4, and 46. 46 breaks down to 1, so 4-1. Baltimore 41. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that. I think he might be on something big there. What's up, caller?
Hey, how's it going, Shaq?
What's up, man?
Hey, I noticed the chat, they were talking about the NFL. Mini camp already started. Just to let you know. I don't know if you knew.
Sure. Hey, since we're talking NFL, I'm going to throw something out there for some people. I was looking at alternate scenarios. I'm looking at the Saints because I really do expect the Saints to be in the Super Bowl this year. So I'm looking at all of every other team in the league and how they match up with the last time they played the Saints. And something interesting I came across is from the date of the Super Bowl to the last time the Saints played the New York Jets was 111 weeks, that big New York number. And then Jets equals 54. I was thinking, man, I'm not saying the Super Bowl is going to be Saints Jets, but I'm just looking at things right now. And I'm thinking about how the Jets got Le'Veon Bell, who's a big star in the league. They got a new coach who's from Miami. The Super Bowl's in Miami. And so I'm thinking, man, the Jets would be a real sleeper team for the Super Bowl. But yeah, I'm doing a lot of work on the NFL right now behind the scenes, and I'm planning to roll out some things here in the months leading up to the season, so we can get ahead of the curve. But you just saying NFL just made me want to share that. Go ahead though. You had another thought.
And one more thing. So yeah, so they were talking about the chat, and that reminds me. They just announced the Raiders, the Oakland Raiders, has been selected for the HBO weekly series, Hard Knocks.
Okay.
So that means usually last season the Cleveland Browns was selected for the Hard Knocks series.
Right.
And as far as it becomes that team's become like a nationwide fan favorite because they get the inside look how they prepare for each week for each team. So I just wanted to throw that out. So yeah. So Oakland Raiders are going to be, and I think Antonio Brown is going to be now. So look at that. He got signed with the Raiders.
Right. Yeah.
So that's all I have. I just wanted to throw that out.
All right. Appreciate it, Izzy. Thanks, man.
All right. Bye.
Okay. All right, but I like the date numerology on both sides for the Orioles. They're the underdog at home. If Stroman loses, by the way, he's 3-9. Orioles is 39. So, and again, just going to watch that numerology thing as an extra check. 4-1 breakdown. Baltimore 41 most pure cipher. Diamondbacks and Nationals. I'm not crazy about this game today. There's some potential scenarios though. Greinke's 5-1 versus the Nationals for his career. The Diamondbacks, if they lost today, they'd stay on 22 wins on the 22 date. Again, staying on the numbers, not always a great indicator. The Nationals could also stay on 31 wins on the 31 dates. So you can make an argument either way with that. The Nationals are 84-59 versus the Diamondbacks. If they won the first 2 games, excuse me, I had to sneeze. It is allergy season. The Nationals, if they won the first 2 games, they would stay on those 59 losses. Today has 58 date numerology. Tomorrow has 59 date numerology. Just in case I didn't go over the date numerology today, the numbers are 58, 31, it's the 11th prime, and 22. And then the lesser method's 38. The lesser method was great for 2 days straight, like unusually great. Yesterday it was pretty meh, but yesterday just was meh. So anyway, the lesser method is 38. So anyway, I'm just looking at scenarios. I do think that the other thought is if the Nationals, if they drop 3 straight, they'd get to 39 losses and Arizona equals 39. So the 39 thing didn't work out in the last series with Philadelphia, but that is a big Arizona number. So I think I would play that game, just see what happens today, and it might help us see which one of these scenarios could play out. Okay, Angels, it's 58 date numerology. That's a big number with the Angels. You know, Mike Trout was just the hero the other day, 58 days from his birthday. You got Skeggs versus Yarbrough. And Skeggs, if the Angels lost, Skeggs would pick up his 38th career loss on this lesser date numerology of 38. Florida equals 38, where the game is as well. He could become 4-7 on the season with a loss. Tampa Bay equals 47. Yarbrough for the Rays can get his 22nd win on the 22-date numerology. He's 2-0 versus the Angels for his career. Skeggs is 0-2 versus the Rays for his career. Let's see. Tampa's 40-47 at home versus the Angels. They do have number 48 on the mound. The pitcher jersey numbers haven't been as good this week as they were last week. It's like, I wonder if things like that alternate, but it is the 179th game, which is the 41st prime. And they could get their 41st home win against the Angels in this game. So I think a number of things line up better for the Rays here than they do the Angels. It would make sense on both sides with the pitchers if the Rays won. And also that 41st home win in the 179th game makes some sense to me too. So apparently I didn't write that down here though. Okay. So I got to favor the Rays there. The 141 that could go against the Rays is they could stay on 41 wins for the season. So all right. The Cardinals and the Mets. The pitcher for the Cardinals is number 22. He's going on the 22-date numerology. DeGrom is at 58 career wins on a 58-date numerology. He's 4-2 versus the Cardinals. If he lost, he would be 4-3. St. Louis is 43. St. Louis is also 25, though. The reflection of 25 is 52. He could become 5-2. Those reflections do play. One thing for the Mets is if they win today, they stay at 11 home losses through 31 games. New York's the 11th state. You got this 31-date numerology. I'm thinking that 31-11 is going to play today. So I'd have to give the Mets the edge for that reason. Not thrilled about that game just because you got a few other things up there on the board, like DeGrom possibly staying on 58. Doesn't have to, though. Staying on the numbers, no guarantee. So I'd say out of all the things up there to look at, 20-11 in the 31st game on the 31 date seems to be the most promising to me. Okay, Rangers and Red Sox. You got David Price on the mound. Sampson comes into the game 5-7 for his career. And he could fall to 5-8 on the 58 date. He's 5-6 with Texas. He's 5-3 on the season. Price, he's 43-21 with Boston. He's 4-2 for the season. The one concern there is the 22 date. Boston equals 22. He could get his 22nd loss on the 22 date in Boston. But at the same time, he could become 5-2 on the season. Texas Rangers is 52. And he could get his 44th win with Boston. Rangers is also 44. So I really wish the Rangers would have won yesterday. That Riddle I don't know how they didn't do that, the 13-18 thing. It would have set them up for an easy read today because they would have likely been picking up that 31st loss in Boston on the 31 date. Now they have a chance to stay on 31 losses on the 31 date. Boston does also equal 32 as well if they got that 32nd loss. So the Red Sox are 1-2 versus the Rangers this year. That also means the Rangers are 2-1, and that also means the Rangers could become 3-1 versus the Red Sox on this 31 date. So it's a tough call here. I should make this note though that Boston is also 32. So I probably wouldn't mess with that game. If only the Rangers had won yesterday, would have made it real easy today. By the way, the pitcher for the Rangers, he is number 52 in light of David Price having a chance to become 5-2 on the year. And Texas Rangers is 52. So, okay, Tigers and Royals. Royals got a shot at their 22nd win on the 22 date numerology. If they did, they'd stay on 46 losses. Michigan's 46. This is where things can get tricky reading doing the numerology breakdown like the caller started with earlier today. So if the Royals, let's say the Royals lost today, they'd stay at 21 wins, which breaks down to 3, and then they'd pick up their 47th loss, which breaks down to 2, so they'd be 3-2. Kansas City's 32, right? But if you use the master numerology for Kansas City, it's 41. So if the Royals won, they'd be 22, which breaks down to 4, and they'd stay at 46, which breaks down to 1. So you'd have 4-1. Kansas City's also 41. So that's where you got to be careful if you're doing that. But the one variable that stands out is, again, the date numerology. 22 date, Royals can get the 22nd win. They're an underdog at home. There are a few other things, though. The pitcher for the Royals is number 21. Could his team stay on 21 wins with him on the mound? Kansas City's 2-6 versus Detroit this year. I do believe they'll probably split their next 2 games against each other and get to 3-7. Big Detroit number 37. If Kansas City won today, I didn't write both of these. Kansas City won today, they'd be 3-6. Royals is 36, but if they lost, they'd be 2-7. Royals is also 27. So the Royals, it wasn't too many days ago they had a decent riddle and they didn't come through. That's the thing about. That's the other thing you got to think about. Like if you take the law of averages, right? If everything was just all equal, you'd think each team's going to come through about as many games where the date numerology is going to line up in their favor as it does for the next team. If you're following what I'm saying, just like if everything was equal, if a team goes through the season, they're gonna run into, X amount of games where things are gonna line up for them or against them. But there's certain teams that win a whole lot more, and there's certain teams that lose a whole lot more. And if you did the math throughout the season, you'd be like, well, the Royals were a team where a lot of their riddles didn't come through, and that's why they have a losing record. So, the Royals do have a shot at the 22nd win today on the 22 date, and I do favor them because of that. But the one thing to keep in mind is, well, the reason this team has a losing record is because sometimes they don't hit when they should. So might be best to pick a Royals type of game when a lot lines up for them Today they have one variable that could go in their favor, and they have. You could also make an argument like them falling 2-7 could make some sense. Royals is 27 in the most pure cipher, so not the best pick today, but I still do favor the Royals because of that 22. The Yankees and the White Sox. This is going to be a 4-game series. I'm thinking if the Yankees won 3 of 4. That would make a lot of sense. But perhaps they lose today's game because today it's the 67th game for both teams. That's the 19th prime. The White Sox can get the 19th home win, and the Yankees can stay at 19. And that 67-19 thing is happening so far. So there's that. The reason I was thinking the Yankees could win 3 of 4 is because if they did, the White Sox would get to 37 losses. Yankees equals 37, so does Chicago. And that would get the Yankees to 44 wins. Chicago's also 44. So, and if you actually do the Yankees is 26 in the most pure cipher. If you do the rule for S, Yankees becomes 35. And if you do the rule for K, it's plus 9 more. Yankees can also be 44. So their records would make a lot of sense. If the Yankees were 44-26 and the White Sox were 33-37. New York's 33, Yankees is 37. But very possible, even though thinking the Yankees will win 3 out of 4, that the White Sox pull out this first game of the series because you got the 67-19 on both sides. So, oh, and I did look ahead to see who the Yankees' next opponent was. It was the Tampa Bay Rays, which is 43. If they split, they'd be at 43 wins. But teams don't always go into the next series with the matching number. It does happen a lot, but not always. Yankees. I don't think I wrote this down. White Sox can pick up 19th home win in 67th game. 67, the 19th prime. So I think White Sox, they'd be a nice payout today. The riddle's there. And you know what? Doing this guy's his numerology thought, well, actually, that could go either way. That could go for either team. Today has the 58-date numerology. I just see if either team lost, their numbers would break down to 5 and 8. If, like, say the Yankees lost, they'd be 41-26. 41 is 5, 26 is 8, 5, 8 on the 58 date. Same thing with the White Sox if they lost. The only other thing I could see about the White Sox that could go against them is if they didn't win today, they'd go into tomorrow, the 32 date, still on 32 wins. But that's 67-19 on both sides is pretty powerful. Also today, if Happ were to lose, he would be 4-4 versus the White Sox. Against Chicago is 44. Okay, Padres and Rockies. Strom. If Strom could get the win, he would be 3-5 on the season. Rockies is 35 in the most pure cipher. You got 2 number 55s going against each other in this game. Starting pitchers. I saw that Gray for the Rockies on this date with 38 numerology, he could get his 38th career win today, and that's the overlap number with both of these teams. San Diego's 38, so is Colorado. So between the pitchers, I like that. I like Gray getting 38. Perfect opponent, perfect date to do it. The one thing the other thing that stood out though is just if Strom did get to 3-5, which is possible because Rockies is 35. I also noticed the Padres would stay on 35 losses and the Rockies would stay on 35 wins. So Padres came into the series with a number that connected the opponent. But again, that 38 for Gray, that's and he's pitched well against the Padres historically. He's 9-3 versus the Padres. So he has a very good record against them as well. So playing the law of averages, that 38 thing with Colorado, got to favor the Rockies on that one. And the Cubs and Dodgers. So you got two veteran pitchers going against each other here. Lester, his next loss with the Cubs is 36, and Dodgers is 36. So it would make sense for him to get his 36th loss in this game. He's 5-4 on the season. If he lost, he'd be 5-5. Los Angeles is 55. And hold on, I have to go back and look at yesterday's game. Let me see something. Okay, never mind. Okay, the Cubs and the Dodgers. Okay, so Lester, it would make sense if he got a loss versus the Dodgers. His record would make a lot of sense. Kershaw, he's 158-70 for his career, 5-1 for the season. He is number 22 pitching on a 22 day. If he won today, he'd be 6-1, a bit like 61, the 18th prime. Cubs does equal 18. Lester for his career is 4-4 versus the Dodgers. And Dodgers has the Gematria 36 like we just talked about. If you use the rule for S, Dodgers is also 45. So Lester could fall to 4-5 versus the Dodgers. And that would make a bit of sense because Cubs is also 45. Major League's 45, big number with baseball, 9th triangular number. Kershaw is 5-3 versus the Cubs through 10 starts. The one thing that worries me about that is 11, the 5th prime. Again, primes. Hey, speaking of primes, that was the other one thing we talked about yesterday with the Bruins. The Bruins, by losing yesterday, became 13-6 in Stanley Cup Finals. 13, the 6th prime. But so Kershaw could stay at 5 wins through 11 starts. However, I haven't really seen the prime number relationship in pitcher records be useful at all just since I started paying attention to it. So I'm not going to give a lot of weight to that. The Dodgers' next win is 46. Chicago does equal 46, so the Chicago Cubs. It doesn't have to come today. So I can't say that that's the best read of the day by any stretch of the imagination. But there are a few things that make sense there for Lester to lose. So just again to real quick scan through baseball, see what happens in this Pirates-Braves game. Braves we're 3-0 with the Braves in this series, but today does seem like the day that the Pirates could break the losing streak. So our favor in the Pirates there. Mariners are real risky. The scenario they had going yesterday came through for them, and it could come through again today. They can keep the Twins at 44 wins. Seattle's 44. If the Mariners win these two games, I mean, that's what it takes in baseball. That's the way baseball works. A team momentum can swing. Mariners go into Minnesota and win the series. You could see the Mariners get that juice back that they had at the beginning of the year. And again, Seattle 44 to keep the Twins there at 44. The Twins could also pick up their 11th home loss on this 31-date numerology, the 11th prime, staying at 20 wins through 31 games. Again, 11, 31. So through 31 home games, they pick up their 11th loss. 31, the 11th prime on the 31 day. And again, like the guy said with the numerology, if there's something to breaking down these records in numerology, if the Twins lose, they'll have 23 losses. 44 is 8. 23 is 5. 8, 5. Twins 85. So I'm watching that. If the Orioles win today, you got 22s on both sides on the 22 date. Orioles get the 22nd win. Blue Jays get the 22nd away loss. Diamondbacks and Nationals is definitely iffy today. The Angels and Rays game, there's no, real standout home run stats to make a great read. But if the Rays pitcher wins and the Angels pitcher loses, their records do make sense. So I got to favor the Rays based on that. The pitcher records are pretty much all there is to go off of. The one thing that could play for the Angels, though, is it's a 58-date numerology. It's been a big number for them this year. So can the Angels play well on a 58 date? That's a roll of the dice type of thing. Sometimes teams do terrible on the date that corresponds with them as well. So it's like their number was up. Cardinals and Mets, I'm thinking the 31-11 thing's probably the most likely thing to play here. The Mets stay at 11 home losses through 31 games. Rangers and Red Sox is dicey today. Disappointed that Riddle didn't come through yesterday. Would have gave us a great pick today. Royals are always tough team to roll with. They are an underdog at home, but if they do win today, they do get their 22nd win on the 22-date numerology. About the only variable to go off of there. White Sox and Yankees. White Sox are a heavy underdog at home. I really do think the Yankees are going to win 3 out of 4 in this series, but this might be the game the Yankees lose because, again, White Sox get that 19th home win in the 67th game, 67 the 19th prime. Yankees stay on 19 away wins in their 67th game as well. Rockies, Padres, again, not a lot to go off of, but the pitcher in this game, Gray, for Colorado, can get his 38th career win today on the 38 date. San Diego 38, Colorado 38. I think that's the most likely variable to play. So got to favor the Rockies for that reason. And Cubs Dodgers, not crazy about it, but if Lester does lose, his stats make sense in multiple ways. So yeah, the Cubs would also stay at 38 wins on the lesser 38 date numerology. That would set them up tomorrow to potentially get that 39th win on the lesser 39 date. But that's it for baseball. There's not a whole lot of games today, so Pirates took the lead. Okay, we'll see. Okay, so NBA. We got another potential elimination game here today. The Warriors survived to play this last game in Oracle. Again, there's a whole lot of things pointing to a Game 7. So let's go through this. The Raptors do have one clean riddle to win today. They had it, but remember, the last game, the Raptors had a lot of riddles to win, and they did not. So they don't have as many riddles today, but it only takes one. So the Warriors right now, they're down 2-3. Game 6 equals 33. They could even it up right here. If you do use the rule for S, Game 6 is also 42. The Raptors could close it out 4-2. The Warriors would go down 2-4. Remember, Canada's 24. It's the Raptors' 24th season. There is this relationship with Drake, who's all about 6. He does call Toronto the 6. They're going to be watching the game in Toronto at Jurassic Park. Today is June 13th. 13's the 6th prime, so we got a date with a double connection to 6. So the Warriors, they're 14-7 in the playoffs. If they win, they're 15-7. If they lose, they're 14-8. We're going to talk more about the 15-7 when we go down to another stat. The Warriors are 6-4 at home in these playoffs. And remember, the date numerology. The date numerology that the finals began was a date with 74 numerology. That's part of the reason we had the Warriors in the finals all season. Oakland, California, 74. The other year, they won their first championship in Oakland since 1974. It wasn't the first Oakland championship since 74, but it was the first time they won the championship while in Oakland. And they had Kevin Durant that year. Kevin is 74. They did that on June 12th. 12/6, Oakland's 126. Now, yesterday, Kevin Durant supposedly got surgery on that day, the 2-year anniversary. But the Warriors could improve to 7-4 at home today. Big Oakland number 74. Toronto, Ontario is also 74. Sometimes, decoding, though, it can make you pull your hair out because, again, here's the one thing. Why is that not refreshing? When you type in Oakland, California, let me type it in right. 74 in the most pure cipher. And years ago, I wouldn't even have known about this. Years ago, I knew about the 106 thing just with the Warriors and watching them score 106 points and the arena being 106 feet tall. But when I first started documenting the Warriors and 106 thing, I didn't even know reverse gematria. But part of the reason we realized reverse was important is because once we learned it, we were like, oh my God, Oakland, California is 106 in reverse. You got to be kidding me. And there's just so many things like that. For those of you who haven't been here that long, I used to just work with these two ciphers. And I did well when I just had these two ciphers. I didn't even need reverse. But since learning reverse, it has helped us out. But now knowing reverse, I do see one thing that could go against them today. 313 is the 65th prime number. Just like how yesterday was 313 days after Brady's birthday and the Bruins could have got their 65th win, but they did not. So anyway, I do think the 74 is a lot more significant. The thing about 65 is, remember, Philadelphia does equal 65. The Philadelphia Warriors won the first championship in 1947. It's the 47th year in Oakland. They raised that banner on 4-7. Curry scored 47 points in the first game in Oakland in the finals. So the 65 could come back to get them, but you know, Toronto doesn't have a connection to 65. Put in Toronto, Ontario here too. Toronto, Ontario, Oakland, California, they're both 74. The final started on that 74 date. The Warriors win today. This last game in Oracle, they get to 7-4. And also, we just know how important 74 is, you know, to the people who do this scripting. 74 and 65 both break down to 11, but 74 is the number that plays a whole lot more. And imagine the series getting to 3-3 and the Warriors 7-4 at home, 33 and 74. Numbers we see come together a lot. The Warriors, well, we'll talk about their away record. If the Warriors, if it does go to Game 7 and the Warriors do win that next away game, they will become 9-3 away. Oracle Arena 93. We saw the Raptors for a minute; they were 9-3 at home. So again, last year at Oracle, and somebody told me the. Let me do this real quick. Name of new Warriors stadium. I gotta verify this. Chase Center. 47. Okay. 101. Somebody said the Chase Center is 73. Okay. Chase Center. Okay. All right. So the Warriors right now, they're 71 and 32 on the season, and there's an easy progression to understand here. If the Warriors win, they get 72 wins. Toronto is 72. If they win another one, they get to 73, just like what we thought they were going to do. So it is the 73rd NBA season. Again, we figured out this is connected to the Drake album. The last song on that album is March 14th, which is Steph Curry's birthday, the 73rd day of the year. And I mean, it's definitely not out of the question. It is definitely not out of the question. We saw how that show Warrior came out. And from the release date of that show to Game 7 is 73 days. So the one thing that could go against the Warriors is they could get their 33rd loss today. And Game 6 does equal 33. If the Warriors did lose, they'd stay at 36 wins. Toronto is 36. Notice their next away win would be 36 as well. Toronto 36. If the Warriors win at home today, they get their 37th home win. And remember, they become 15-7 in the playoffs, like 157, the 37th prime number. So that could make a lot of sense, being 15-7 and that 37th home win. Last one. Let me just, when I think of Oracle, I always think of 54 and 108. Oh, you know what? Oracle is 36 as well. I was wondering if it might be because it was a 9 number. Okay, actually, I need to document that. That's important. Oracle is 36. So if they didn't win today, they would stay at 36 wins versus Toronto in Oracle. Game 6, 36, square root of 6. Okay. Well, that's definitely worth considering. Okay, so right now the Raptors are 15-8 in the 2019 playoffs. They are 6-4 away. They could do the 7-4 thing as well. So either team can do the 7-4 thing today. And that means either team can do the 6-5 thing as well. And we know Oakland, California is also 313, the 65th prime. The Raptors are 73-32 for the season. Again, they could have the Game 6 thing go against them. Game 6 is 33. Oakland, California, is also 131, 32nd prime. So are the Raptors going to stay on 73, or are they going to be able to get that 74th win? Remember, this NBA Finals began on May 30th, and when the Warriors came back from down 3-1 against Kevin Durant's Thunder, that series ended on May 30th, and Durant's a big part of the narrative again. You know, the Raptors are 32-19 away. So again, the game 6 thing can play out in so many different ways. 33rd loss, 33rd away win. Staying on 32 wins, Oakland, California, 131 to 32nd prime. So you're not going to get an easy read there. The Warriors are 190 and 158 in the playoffs. Or they're 190 and 57. I don't know which one it is anymore because they changed their stats between the two sites. If it is 157, they could also, again, become 15-7 today in the playoffs and get that 37th home win. I do think that this one's probably more accurate because the M-Cube did not track one of the games against the Rockets for it to get this way, but I don't know if M-Cube did that because they figured out that there were some historical mistakes. So, again, it's made that a little bit fuzzy. The Raptors right now are 47-58 in the playoffs. And, again, we have 58-date numerology. We have Oakland equals 58. We have Golden State equals 58. So they could potentially stay at 58 losses on this 58 date. Their next loss would be 59. Warriors is 59. And if they didn't win anymore, they'd stay at 47. And remember, Philadelphia Warriors won the championship in 47. It's the 47th year in Oakland. They raised that banner on 4-7. So they're just not going to make it easy. And I want to come back here to the Raptors record at home. Where did I have it? Okay, right here. So I'm looking at this. Just looking ahead, the Raptors are 9-4 at home, right? And we know 95 is a huge number. Warriors equals 95. The Raptors were established in 95. Game 7 would be Steph Curry. Is it his 95th day of his age or 95 days after his birthday? Let me verify that real quick. I know it's one of the two. Again, I might be misspeaking. Game 7 is what I mean to say. But it's also Father's Day. And so it's 94 days after Steph Curry's birthday, which means that Game 7 is his 95th day of his age. Warriors is 95. And Raptors established in 95. If the Warriors do make it to that game and do beat the Raptors and make them 9-5 at home, the Warriors will become 16-7 in the playoffs on the 167th day of the year. 167 is the 39th prime. Canada's 39. Drake's 39. We know the Drake album synced up with this. And the last song on there is March 14th, Curry's birthday. Let me just scan the lyrics to the song. I don't even know what the song's about. Let me see. Okay. Is there anything in this song? Hold on. So the third line is, that shit is in stone, sealed and signed. Billie Jean, so Michael Jackson. Okay. Single father. Okay, Father's Day. All right. All right, so it has to do with, okay. So it's about some personal thing with having a child, but see if there's any other thing in here that would stand out. We know this album's connected. This is the 25th song of the album, by the way, and again, Finals is 25. I got this 11 tatted for somebody. Now it's yours, number 11. Okay. All right. The father part of the lyric stands out. Just again, we're looking at this Father's Day matchup. Okay. So the Warriors are 2-3 versus the Raptors in the playoffs. Obviously, this is their only series. The Warriors are 2-5 versus the Raptors for this season. So, caller?
Hey Zach, can we do something real quick?
What's that?
Can you give me both established dates? The date Toronto Raptors was established and Golden State was established, and what astrology year we in? Are we in the year? What year are we in? The year of the dog, the year of the monkey, the year of the what?
I honestly don't know. I'd have to look it up.
So you're looking up astrology. So this is how Gary does it. I know you hate Gary, but it does kind of play parts. So like your birthday is like I'm a dog, because you got the same similar birthday as me. So we're the year of the dog. I don't know. It's the year of the dragon right now. Yeah, it's the year of the dragon right now. So you have enemy signs. So like if you look up astrology on Google and you can look at the enemy signs. So, like, say, for instance, Golden State was the year of the dog, and this was the year of the dog. That'll pretty much mean Golden State probably will win a championship if the other sign was the enemy. Do that make sense? Are you in astrology like that?
I'd have to look more into it. So, yeah, I don't know a lot about that.
Okay, I'll just do it because I know you're busy doing this, and I'm going to do it real quick on my phone, and then I'm going to call you back and figure it out. So, they have the established dates on Basketball Reference, right?
I don't know if they have the specific day and month. I just know the Raptors were established in 95.
Okay, yeah, I guess I could go by damn. Oh, no, I have to Google it. I'm going to try to find it. So I'm going to see how we could do it that way. So what do you have so far? Because I ain't really been listening.
Well, I'm talking about how if it goes back to Toronto and Toronto loses that next game, they're going to be 9-5 at home in the playoffs on Curry's 95th day of his age. So, whoever wins today is either going to be 7-4 at home or 7-4 away. And again, 74 connects to Oakland, California, and Toronto, Ontario, and the series began on the 74 date numerology. So,
okay. What's Toronto's away record? 6-4. So Philadelphia equals 65. So they go 6-5, stay on the 6. ABC equals 6.
And Oakland, California is also 313, the 65th prime. So the 6 and 5 thing can play too. It's just which team's going to be 6 and 5 and which one's going to be 7 and 4. So
yeah.
Oracle. That was another thing I noticed today. So the Warriors right now are on 36 home wins, and Toronto equals 36, and so does Oracle. So if they didn't win another game, they'd stay at 36 in this last year in Oracle. If they do, and also 36 has the square root of 6. Today's June 13th. 13 is the 6th prime. So that's what really could go against the Warriors today, just all the 6 alignment. But I'm still thinking, man, Father's Day, there's just so many things that line up with that. So
Yeah. Yeah. So how many losses Steve Kerr got? I'm sorry.
In the playoffs?
Yes, sir. Overall, isn't it? Did he say 114 and 115 or something?
Well, right now he's 77 and 27 in the playoffs. He's coached 104 games. That means if he gets to Game 7, he'll get to that magic number 106.
Game 7 equals 78, I think, and I think Sunday does too, if I'm not mistaken.
Sunday 78. It is.
Yeah. So, and then 27. I'm trying to think. 27. So that'd be. Oh man, it's just so many sixes out there. They could stay on 6. Other team could stay on 6. So.
That's the one thing we talked about, because this is the Raptors' 24th season and Canada's 24. So if the Warriors went down, they'd go down 2-4, and Canada would get its first NBA championship.
Yes, and then ABC equals 6, 21, and 75. So like you said, if Golden State wins, they could lose on Sunday and be 7-5.
Sure. I'm pretty sure ABC's hosted a number of sports events where it went to Game 7, though. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna let you keep the code. I'm gonna try to do the astrology real quick and then figure out what year they in right now. So I'll call you back.
All right.
Yeah.
I'd be real careful about using any of the Gary the Number Guy strategies. In the years I've been doing this, the only thing he's been right about is the year the Cavs won the NBA Finals, and I had him picked before the season even began that year. So that is the way Gary the Numbers Guy does it. And what I know about Gary the Numbers Guy is he's almost always wrong. But and that's just a fact. With regards to Steve Kerr, today it's 106 days to his upcoming birthday today. That magic number there for Oakland. Again, Oakland, California, 106. So they get the win today. He will coach his 106th playoff game in Game 7. Nick Nurse had the great alignment last game and didn't win. Remember, last game was on his 322nd day of his age. The NBA Finals 3-2-2. His upcoming birthday's in 41 days, and Oakland's 41, so is Golden State. And if the Raptors don't win another game at home, if it has to go back there, they'll stay on 41. Caller?
Hey, what's up, Zach?
What's up, man?
Hey, man, I have two things. I saw this morning, ESPN just put a thing out there that the Raptors are 3-0 at Oracle this season. Haven't they played more games than that, though?
Okay, so they played 2 in the regular season, so they won 1 in the regular season, and they won the first 2 there. So, yeah, that is true. They're 3-0 at Oracle. That means if they lost today, they'd be 3-1 on the 31 day in Oakland's 31.
Yeah, exactly. And they call Clay Game 6 Clay. That's been all over the media this morning. Game 6 Clay. Oh, he's going to go off Game 6 Clay. So
well,
from his birthday or something.
I was just about to talk about that. Today's his 126th day of his age, and Oakland won 26. So Klay Thompson has an awesome alignment today. If the Warriors do win, I think it's going to be him that carries the torch today for Oakland or the Warriors.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, they're giving him way too much hype for him not to go off. Like, there's no way. Yeah, I don't know.
He's got the perfect alignment today. It's his 126th day of his age. Big Oakland number.
Yeah, so that's all, man. I had those 2 little stats. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great thought there with the 3-1. I like that. I should have thought of that. Yeah, good one.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, man. All right, let me add that to the notes here. Let's see. I'll do it right here. Raptors are 3-0 at Oracle this year, regular season and playoffs. Again, they were 1-0 in the regular season, and they won the last 2 games. So 3-0 right now. Today has 31 date numerology. Oakland equals 31. Oakland's 31 where you use the rule for K. Master numerology of K. You make it 11 instead of 2. So Raptors can fall to 3-1. And you know what else is 31? Curry. And then you got Father's Day. Del Curry, Father's Day. And I guess the 3-0 makes sense too, right? 30's been a big number. You got Del Curry who wore 30. Hey, Steph Curry, Steph Curry's real first name's Wardell. Wardell is 30. What's up, man?
Check this out, Zach. Check this out. Go to Google real quick.
Okay.
Okay. Put in 1946 Chinese zodiac. As soon as you put in 1946 Chinese, it'll pop up. It'll show you something.
1946 Chinese zodiac. Okay, dog. The dog is the 11th of the 12-year cycle of animals which appear in the Chinese zodiac related to the Chinese calendar.
Okay, that's the dog. Okay. So the year of the dog. So guess what last year was, Zach?
What was it?
The year of the dog. Golden State won. Now check this out. So erase that out and put in 2019 Chinese zodiac.
Okay. Okay, pig.
Okay. Now erase that out and put in 1995 Chinese zodiac.
Okay. Pig also.
Wow, that's crazy, man. So I don't know. I'm not depicting a winner for this. So Toronto's the pig, and we're in the pig year.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. That's how Gary does it. Greenberg.
Yeah.
That's what the people paid for, that type shit. Because the dude leaked it, and he tried to get dude in trouble and all kind of shit. But that's how he does it.
Oh well, I already know what he does, and he fails again and again. So his methods aren't good. But
no, I know, but last year was the year the dog Golden State did win. So I don't know.
They won the year before too, and
yeah, and that's me and your year because your birthday is same as mine. Yeah. That's when we have our best luck. Year of the dog. That's when you have your luck on your year. Like things happen. So it's deep. I could talk about that for hours, but that's the type of stuff I be on, man. So like this shit, the numbers come easy to me because I study that shit too.
Okay. Well, if you weren't paying attention, the guy just called in and he said, today has 31 date numerology, and the Raptors are 3-0 at Oracle this year. So if they lose today, they become 3-1. Plus Oakland's 31, and so is Curry.
Yeah.
So.
I just think, Zach, I kind of agree with you, man. But like, I agree with you about the night. I do, but I just think they just gonna lose Game 7 in Toronto, man. It's gonna be like a big mockery, man. I just think that's just me, man.
Well, if they lose, they're 9-5. So.
Yeah, I know. And then, like I think about it, Zach, like this free agency, they trying to break up the dynasties and shit, and they finna mix this shit up, man. You get what I'm saying? LeBron and whoever gonna play with whoever, and you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's crazy, but I just wanted to make that point, and that is interesting. So it's the year of the pig, and Toronto Raptors is the year of the pig as well. So.
All right. Appreciate it, man.
All right, man. All right, yeah, no problem.
What's pig equal anyway? But what I'm saying is, okay, so the Warriors won in the year of dog. They also won the year before, whatever year that was. Pig, 32, 23, 49, 13. Okay. It is the 13th of the month. So, yeah, again, the riddles for the Raptors tonight, they're not as good as the riddles were last game, but they could stay on 58 losses on the 58 date. Oakland and Golden State both 58. So just there's so many things that line up with that Father's Day game. For the Raptors players tonight, today's 349 days after Kawhi's birthday. Let me make sure that's not prime. It's the 70th prime. Okay. He had a better alignment last game. Last game was the prime number relationship that connected with his name in NBA Finals. Not sure about 70. It's the 81st day of Lowry's age. Today's 108 days after Van Fleet's birthday. The last game was on his 106th day of his age. And he didn't have a very good game last game. Last game was the big 106 ritual. It is also his 109th day of his age. And we know that number's been significant. Scorpion, the Claw. Siakam, it's his 73rd day of his age. If the Raptors were going to close it out today, I imagine Siakam would have a good game. And for Drake, it's his 233rd day of his age. That's the 13th Fibonacci, 51st prime. All right. Just because somebody called in about this year of the pig thing. Year of the pig. I want to see what years those were again. Does it show? So it's on a 12-year cycle. So I guess I'm a pig because I was born in 83. Huh. Okay. Let's see. Okay. What year was Drake born? I forget. 86, so he's not a pig. Oh, all right, you guys. Also, I apologize for this, but it just dawned on me when I was looking at this. M cubed is not updating. I'll show you right here. M cubed is not updating the playoffs in this section for this year. So, like right now it says that, let me make sure I got this right. Okay, so right now it says that the Raptors are 5-10 in the playoffs in series, 5 wins and 10 playoff series losses. They didn't add their first round win, their second round win, or their conference finals win. So right now the Raptors are really 8-10 in the playoffs in series. And that means if a win, they'd be 9-10. And with a loss, they'd be 8-11. And 1-1-8, 8-11. Again, last year on Tisha B'Av, you had the shooting in Toronto and Greektown. Greektown equals 118. This year, the Raptors won game 1 with 118 points, 73 days before August 11th, the second day of Tisha B'Av, just like they got shot up on the second day of Tisha B'Av last year. And you know what? Now that I think about that more, the score of the first game was 118-109, 227 points. The shooting in Toronto was July 22nd, 22/7. So anyway, if Toronto does lose this series, they will have 8 series wins and 11 series losses. This is their 19th playoff series, 2019. And it's the same thing with the Warriors. So the Warriors is screwed up too. NBA teams, Golden State Warriors, playoffs. So the finals hasn't updated yet. Again, if the Warriors do win the finals, they'll be 7-4. If they lose, they'll be 6-5, the Philadelphia number. But that means the Warriors right now, they've really won 3 more. So they're 42-28. And if they did lose, they would get that 29th. We saw the 109 tributes, 109, the 29th prime. If they won, they'd get number 43. They'd get it in Toronto, too, on the 43rd parallel. But the more interesting thing to me is just that if Toronto goes down, they're 8-11. So yeah. You know who else I got to measure from? I got to measure from Aisha Curry. I got to do her every game. I don't know why I haven't been doing that. Because this whole thing was synced up with her. March 23rd. Yeah, hold on. You know what I just thought about with her birthday? Is that right? Let me think about that. 23/3, like 233. If the Warriors came back, teams down 3-1 would be 2-33, right? All right, hold on. March 23rd. All right, so remember, game 1 was May 30th, and that was her 69th day of her age, and the NBA Finals is 69, and the Warriors came in with 69 wins, and her full name is 69, Aisha Disa Curry. All right. Name's also 93. Okay. So today's her 83rd day of her age. It's also 82 days after her birthday. Toronto Raptors is 82 and Raptors is 82. And then the next game would be her 86th day of her age or 85 days after her birthday. Remember, Curry's 85, so is basketball. With regards to the 86th day of age, the first NBA Finals was in 1986. 12 weeks and 1 day, Warriors 121. Again, there's just so many things that line up with Game 7, including that Warrior TV show set in the Bay Area. 73 days from the release of that show to Game 7. So I'm in the same position I was in last game. I already feel like a lot of you have money riding on the Warriors. And so anyway, it's like you're already invested in the game. Of course, you want to see the Warriors win. But again, like last game, you got riddles going both ways. The riddles were definitely better for Toronto last game. And you know what else we can look at? They played the last game in the Oakland Football Stadium, didn't they, last season? Maybe we can measure from these 2 dates. Am I right about that? Did they tear down Oakland Coliseum where they football played? Or no, I guess if they come back this year, they could play the last game there. Are they playing there this year? Are Raiders playing in Oakland Coliseum in 2019? What's up, man?
Ain't as funny, Zach. Her height, she's 5'8", 58.
Say it again?
Her height, she's 5'8".
Oh, yeah, okay, that's funny.
58. 58 day numerology today.
Yeah, right.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
That's all I want to say. You keep going.
All right. Thanks, man.
All right.
I know what else we can do with their birthday. We'll look at how it lined up with each game, just see if there was Toronto connections in any of the games that Toronto won. Because today is 82 days after her birthday, and Raptors is 82, and Toronto Raptors is 82. All right, but they're going to play in that stadium this year, so it isn't technically the last game. That's something to keep in mind in the football season, though, because it sounds like this year will be the last year. Well, I guess we can actually look ahead at the Raiders' schedule. I just want to see if there's something with that. See when they're – well, if the Raiders made the playoffs, I guess it can't be for sure. But through the regular season, looks like their last home game is December 15th, which could possibly be the last game there. Okay. June 13th, 2019 to December 15th, 2019. That's interesting, 185 days. That's a big basketball number there. Basketball's 185. Huh. National Football League. No. Oakland Raiders. Raiders is 74 too. Speaking of 74 in Oakland. Jacksonville, Florida. Okay. Let's see how the money's going for this game right now. I'm just curious about that too. Raptors and Warriors. There'll be a lot more betting by the end of the day. So right now the money's heavy on Toronto early in the day. But I think this will change. Okay. All right. Well, again, the one thing going for the Raptors that's big is they can stay on those 58 losses on the 58 date in Oakland, and they can keep the Warriors at 36 wins on the season in Oracle, where Oracle is 36. But again, just so many things line up for Game 7. So I'm still thinking this thing's making it to Father's Day. But if you already got your money on the Warriors, I would just I wouldn't put more on them tonight. And I mean, you could hedge your bet and take the Raptors, but I'm not certain the Raptors are going to win by any stretch of the imagination. So probably wouldn't advise that either, but let you make up your own mind on what you want to do. So again, if Kerr does win, he gets to his next game, which is his 106th game. It just seems like that's got to come. Because remember, the 2 wins so far for the Warriors have been in Toronto, and they both had to do with 106. They won Game 2, and at the end of that game, they were stuck on 106 points for nearly 5 minutes. They won the game, and then on 10/6, 106, they won with 106 points. So now the next 106 tribute in Toronto could come with Steve Kerr coaching his 106th game. And you know what? Steve Kerr, he was playing in the league when the Raptors were in the league. Let's check this out actually. Let's find Steve Kerr's player stats versus the Raptors. Let me see. See his stats versus the Raptors. Okay. Steve Kerr versus the Raptors was 12-5. That's funny. That's Del Curry's name. Del Curry's 125. What happened in that first game with Del Curry? Warriors became 12-5 in Game 1 by losing to the Raptors. 12-5 in the playoffs for the season. 12-5. Played his first game. Oh, well, that's because 95 was their first season. 2003, April 4th. You see the scores of those games. He was playing with San Antonio back then, like Kawhi Leonard. That's funny. You know who else we could look at actually is DeMar DeRozan. Let's see what's up with him, how that things line up with him. He's the guy that was on the Raptors. They got traded for Kawhi. All right, let's see. Okie dokie. So today is his 311th day of his age, and then the next game would be. So the next game would be 313 days after his age, or his 314th day of his age, like Steph Curry's birthday. That's crazy. And again, that Drake album, the last song's March 14th. Huh. That's funny. Oakland, California's 313. Where's DeMar DeRozan from? He's from Compton, huh? Just like Kawhi Leonard. Crazy. DeMar DeRozan, 61. His name's 65, 313 days after his birthday, the 65th prime. I'll make a note about that. Game 7 is DeMar DeRozan's 314th day of his age. Pi. And hold on, I forgot to do the thing with Ayesha Curry. I wanted to look at each game. Ayesha Curry. And so May 30th, June 2nd. Her birthday is March 23rd. From today, or no, June 2nd, 2019. The wrong year. Okay, so the Warriors won game 2, and that was 71 days after her birthday, or her 72nd day of her age. What's interesting about that is Toronto Raptors equals 71, right? So the Warriors actually won this game 71 days after her birthday. Okay, and then today is 82 days after her birthday. So again, Toronto Raptors in your two reduction ciphers is 71 and 82. Today's 82 days after her birthday. They won 71. Can they win 82 after? Okay, so there's that. And game 3, they lost. So that would have been 74 days after her birthday. So it's interesting they lost that game in Oakland, California, 74 days after her birthday. And then the next game was June 10th. No, that's not right. June 7th. Not sure about. All right, so the thing about June, that did the span. So that was 76 days after her birthday. Again, the season began on the day leaving 76 days left in the year. The Raptors have history with the 76ers. They went through them this year. That's the one way I could see it for the Raptors in light of this season beginning on the day leaving 76 days left in the year. They went through the 76ers. If they beat the Warriors, then they beat the two teams with the Philadelphia connections. City that has the 76 connection. All right, June 10th was 79 days. And what is it? Oakland, California, 79. Isn't something 79? Oh, maybe it's Toronto, Ontario. Toronto, Ontario, 79. So then they won 79 days after her birthday. Okay. And now it's 82 days after. So it's interesting that the games that they've been winning in Toronto have synced up with her birthday and had the Toronto numbers. And the same thing is true today, because today is 82 days after her birthday. And Toronto Raptors is 82, and Raptors is 82. Those games, though, that they'd won had been in Toronto, so they haven't won it yet in Oakland. But today they could become, if the Warriors win today, again, they make the Raptors 3-1 in Oakland for the year on the 31 day, which makes sense. And then you get that game 7, 85 days after her birthday. Basketball and Curry, 85. Again, she's from Toronto. All right, and just to be thorough, I just want to go back over Curry, Thompson, and Kawhi Leonard's stats against the opponent. All right, so Curry versus the Raptors. I want to look at this again. Curry has 17 wins right now. He would need 2 more, right? He'd have to get to 19 in 2019 to win the finals. He's 17-5. So this is the 23rd game. 17-5. Is there something about 195? Toronto. Wardell Stephen Curry II. His name is 122 like Golden State. All right, let me see. $79 like Toronto. Wardell Curry, 74. Okay. Today's his 92nd day of his age, Curry. Wardell Curry II. All right, Klay Thompson. He there. Toronto Raptors. He is 13-6, just like the date. 13-6. And what's the 146? Oakland, California is 146. So if Klay won today, he'd become 14-6 in Oakland, California, helping his team get to 7-4 in the playoffs and helping Steve Kerr get to his 106th game. The Raptors would be 6-5 away if they lost. The 74-3-1-3 thing could go either way for either team. But remember, today's Klay's 126th day of his age, and Toronto's 126. Or not Toronto, Oakland's 126. If Klay lost, he'd be 13-7, like 137, the 33rd prime. NBA Finals 33. Okay. It's funny, his record, though, is just like the date. Kawhi Leonard. Let me see. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I had either for. All right, let's see. He's 20-11. He got his 11th loss in his 31st game against him. 20-11. Yeah, so his next win is 21. 73 is the 21st prime. It's about Kawhi. That would make sense. If he lost today, he'd be 20-12. He would have a shot still at 21, though. Okay. Should have had those stats right. Yeah. Okay. Double checking Curry's playoff games here. Curry has 72 career playoff wins. So his next win is his 73rd. Huh. So that's one thing that could go against him, but that's encouraging to think that he would get his 73rd win in this season, the 73rd NBA season. So for them to live another day, at least one more, he can get his 73rd win today, 73rd NBA season in Oracle. Okay, and then wait a minute. I can't tell what this is doing. Okay, shit. Well, hold on though, man. This is confusing the way this works. Because it's not, I wonder if it's, All right, hold on. May 14th. All right, wait a minute. This actually might not be right because it's only pulling up through May 14th. So he has more wins since then. So this is just the wins on his through his first 100 games, the way this page works. They could fix that about their site. All right, so he actually has more than 72 playoff wins, so that's not right, actually. 14, 2018. Okay, so he's 72-28 on the first page. But then he's got 5 more wins here, so he's at 77 wins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 34 losses. So he's 77 and 34. His next loss would be his 35th. Raptors is 35. If he won 2 more, he would get to 79. And he could do that in Toronto, Ontario, 79, the 22nd prime. Basketball, 22. Oakland, 22. If he wins 1 more, he's to 78. NBA Finals is 78. Let's see real quick. The in the regular season, the date they played on, they had the 78 in numerology was November 29th. That was 196 days ago. me see some about those games. Which one was where? I'm going to get rid of this information. It's incorrect. Not this, though. Okay. That game was at Toronto. The one game that had the numerology of 78, like NBA Finals, was in Toronto. Game 7 will be 199 days after that game. The 46th prime. Raptors is 46. Caller?
You should look a little closer at the Warriors-Raptors series.
Look for what?
You should look a little closer to the Warriors-Raptors series.
What are you saying about that?
Well, you've looked at everything possible. I mean, oh my God, right?
Well,
I'm sort of joking. Like, you've looked at every possible thing, there is, right?
Well, I've looked at I went over the Warriors and Raptors series. I don't. Is there anything else I could look at?
No, there's nothing. I mean, there's something, but there's no way. You can spend the rest of your life looking at it.
Sure, I'm just trying to think of every possible thing I could think of. Right now, I'm feeling pretty good about the Warriors. So,
now, did you do any golf earlier today, or you did golf yesterday?
I did golf yesterday. Did you miss yesterday's golf decode?
No, I did. When I noticed something last night, I talked to Rambo earlier. Something, and this is before the tournament, if you can call him and prove it, there's something going on with DeChambeau.
Yeah, he had a good start date. He had a perfect alignment for the start date.
Well, here's the interesting thing now. If you want to flash back to when Mickelson, which I predicted now, I made my biggest bet that he would finish second, lost to Payne Stewart in the 99 Open by 1 stroke. So Mickelson got his second place.
20 years ago.
Payne Stewart died on October 25th in a weird plane crash, where the pilot and everybody in the plane lost consciousness, and the plane had to be taken down.
Oh, that was years ago.
What's that?
That was years ago, right?
That was 6 months after he won the U.S.
I remember that story now. Yeah, okay.
Now, going forward, then the following year, they did this big ceremony to Payne Stewart at the U.S. Open, the one where Tiger won by 15.
Huh.
Now, check this out. DeChambeau wears this ivy cap, right, which is what Payne Stewart used to wear. The cap. Guess where Payne Stewart went to school? SMU. Where did DeChambeau go to school? SMU.
And okay. I see that Payne Stewart died at age 42 as well, Freemason 42, and then DeChambeau has that nice alignment through the number 58 with the start date of the tournament, Freemasonry 58. So yeah, that's really interesting. Okay. Yeah, great observation.
So I started looking at DeChambeau and I didn't realize he went to the same. I didn't realize Payne Stewart. I knew DeChambeau went to SMU. I didn't know that Payne Stewart did. But I started looking at this night. So 20 years ago was when Mickelson came in second to Payne Stewart. And then 19 years ago is when Tiger won at Pebble. So 2019, right?
Man, and hey, about Payne Stewart, his name equals 167, and this tournament ends on the 167th day of the year. And his name also equals 67, the 19th prime. So yeah, I think you're onto something major here.
So I would say now, if you put a gun to my head, it would DeChambeau would win and Mickelson would come second.
Okay, well, he did have a great alignment, man. Yeah, you could be that could be it right there.
That would link into Payne Stewart winning and Mickelson coming second back at Pinehurst.
Huh.
Now, I threw a couple bucks on Thomas and Fleetwood because you showed they both had 119, one born January 19th, the other one born the 119th day of the year.
Right.
Fleetwood's off to a good start. Thomas isn't, but I made a bet on.
What about Keisner? What's Keisner doing?
I think he has. I don't think he started yet.
Okay, because it's his 119th day of his age today.
Oh, is it okay?
Yeah.
So he could have a good day. But there's something going on with DeChambeau and this Payne Stewart and this Tiger Woods thing. I mean,
it came to me as I started thinking about when Phil came in second. And then I said, wait a second, that was Payne Stewart. I didn't realize Payne Stewart never made it back to the U.S. Open to defend. He died in a plane crash. And then they had this big ceremony at the U.S. Open in 2000. All the players hit drives into the ocean and all this other stuff, this 21-gun salute, shot salute, whatever. And then I started thinking about DeChambeau and him wearing the same thing as Payne. I didn't know they went to the same school.
Right.
And now you're telling me that DeChambeau has a good alignment for the tournament?
Remember yesterday we talked about how it's the tournament starts today, the 58 date numerology, and it's his 271st day of his age, the 58th prime.
Well, I didn't hear the whole thing. It's sometimes hard to watch,
Okay. But yeah, Payne Stewart, what's interesting that it stands out right away is his name equals 167, and this tournament ends on the 167th day of the year. And then it's been 20 years since his death, and death's 20, so.
That to me, there's some, I mean, now that you said that and now that you brought that up, I was like, wait a second, I just talked to him earlier before the tournament started. I sent him an email, so it's like timestamp, like, look at Mickelson and DeChambeau and something going on with them.
Man.
Because of the Payne Stewart connection.
You know what else is sick about his death? He died on the day leaving 67 days left in the year, and his name equals 67, like blood sacrifice.
But if you look at the story, he was, if you guys don't remember this, I'm a little older than you, he was in his plane, and they said that everybody lost, I guess,
air, oxygen, right. The air went out. I remember that.
And then they just, I don't remember what they did. They took the plane down or they, crashed it, whatever. But then, but he was the defending champion and never made it back to Pebble Beach to play, to defend.
I remember that.
So is DeChambeau back to defend for Payne Stewart?
He could be, and it would make sense because his name syncs up with the day the tournament ends. So yeah, that's something there.
So there's my golf knowledge in your gematria that I kind of somehow, and I didn't even hear you. I wish I had heard you say that about DeChambeau yesterday. I didn't spend a lot of time on it. I mean, I won a lot of money in the Masters, gave a little bit back on the U.S. Open, kind of laying low, making some picks in the waiting for the Rory Tiger.
You mean the PGA Championship? The PGA Championship.
The PGA Championship, right?
Right.
And then waiting for the British Open and Rory and Tiger in their battle.
Right.
So I've seen so much stuff to that, but
you didn't hit on Koepka in the PGA Championship because he was our number 2 guy after Tiger.
No, he covered me. He covered some of my losses. I pushed it hard on Tiger. But
okay, I got it.
But no, the DeChambeau thing. Now that you kept saying that, all those dates and him tied to Payne and going to the same college, right? And whatever. I mean, don't be surprised if DeChambeau wins and Mickelson comes in second.
Well, I won't now that you pointed out all this because, I mean, the riddle's there. So
that's a pretty strong riddle.
Yeah.
If they're, on top of the number thing, which you have, there's a backstory to it all, which, fits in, right?
Of course. That's why, yeah, if you got that's also why I teach this stuff to you guys, because if you have the knowledge about the sport and then you put you could have typed in Payne Stewart's name and said, wait a minute, there's 167. He was just saying the tournament's going to end on the 167th day of the year. So
I did put his name in, and I was doing too many things. I didn't really, do it on your phone. You have to, you look at the number. I should have I heard you say 167 enough times with the NBA Finals. I mean, how many times you've said that?
That's why I'm wondering about Rory too, because Rory has a nice alignment, and just with him winning the Canadian Open, and if the NBA Finals go to Sunday, it'll be the same day the tournament ends.
But I'll tell you right now, this Mickelson thing with him coming second. I mean, you can't bet him second. I'm very strong on that. It was my biggest bet. I put money on DeChambeau this morning just about this. I didn't even know this other stuff, so now I really feel good about it. Then I bet on your 2 guys, Fleetwood and Thomas, 2 of them. I'll throw a few bucks in them. They're good odds, right?
Right. Yeah, they were down. Kevin Kisner was 100 to 1, and I thought it was interesting. The tournament began on his 119th day of his age, 119th U.S. Open.
I can see him getting off to a good start.
Right.
And not winning, but
of course. Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, DeChambeau is feeling pretty, and he's off to a good start, of course, DeChambeau.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
And Fleetwood's off to a good start. Rory's off to a good start. Mickelson's doing okay. I'm going right now. DeChambeau to win and Mickelson second.
All right. Well, it makes sense if it's this Payne Stewart thing. So, yeah. Great work.
I'm Ellie Roll.
All right. Thanks. That's our golf expert right there. So, I mean, that's the beauty of having this knowledge. If you know the sport and if you're not too distracted when you're doing your decode, you know, make sure you don't overlook the numbers when you put them on the screen. So Payne Stewart, tournament ends on the 167th day of the year. He died on the day, leaving 67 days left in the year. 67 is the 19th prime number, is 2019. Yeah, something's probably up. So, okie dokie. But yeah, he made the point that maybe I'm doing the overkill here on the Raptors Warriors. Again, the Raptors do have a narrative to close it out. They did last game as well. Still a lot of points to game 7. And caller? Hey, man, what's up?
Hey, I mean, I'm in one of these noisy vehicles, so it's probably hard to hear me, but I was waiting for you to start talking about golf because there's a guy at work. He's kind of like, one of these experts when it comes to golf, and I don't know if there's anything to this or not, but I thought it was interesting. Koepka, I don't know if Koepka had an alignment at all in this tournament, but he's going for 3 in a row, right?
3 majors?
Yeah, he's won. No, he's won. I think he's won. I may be wrong on this, but I'm sure my golf expert at work told me he's won the last 2 U.S. Opens.
Let me check that out. I think he is the defending champion. I wasn't aware that it was 2 in a row. So this year it begins 41 days after his birthday, and USA's 41. Yeah, Koepka did win last year, and let me see about 2017. Yeah, he did. He has. So he is going for 3 in a row. You're right.
So check this out. There's this guy named Willie Anderson. Willie Anderson won. He's the only guy to win the U.S. Open 4 times, and he won it 3 years in a row. There was a year, I think there was a year where he didn't go back to back, and then like the first time he won was like 1901 or something, and then he won 3 years in a row, like 1903, 4, and 5.
Okay.
From 1905 to this year is 114 years.
Huh.
And Koepka can tie that. He could three-peat. He could win this U.S. Open 3 years in a row, just like this Willie Anderson guy did it. The only guy to do it.
Huh. That is very interesting.
Willie Anderson died at 31. He died really young.
Okay. Yeah, the tournament begins 41 days after his birthday, and USA's 41.
I couldn't hear you there. It broke up. What were you saying, Zach?
I was just saying the tournament began 41 days after his birthday this year, and USA's 41. So U.S. Open. So, and yeah, the fact that he's won twice in a row is very interesting.
Well, I just thought it was interesting. We just had the Blues with the 114 and how it connected, to the Red Sox and that whole riddle thing. He got the Warriors. The Warriors are going for 3 in a row, right?
Right. That's true. Oh, and this tournament will end on the day. Well, if it goes to game 7, they'll both end on the same day.
Interesting.
Huh.
All right, hey, I'm going to get off of here, but hey, great show last night on TFR, man. That was an awesome show.
All right. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, have a good day, brother.
All right. Well, I'm glad somebody thought that. I was honestly I was so tired yesterday. I was like having trouble staying awake during the show. But okay. So again, so Koepka's going for 3 in a row. I missed that. I knew he was the defending champion. I didn't realize he'd won 2 years in a row. My fault. So that is interesting. Koepka the chance to three-peat, and if it did go to game 7 and the Warriors won, they would three-peat. But DeChambeau, I want to find that thing that I wrote with DeChambeau. So it begins on his 271st day of his age, the 58th prime. And then what was I noting about this? No. So it was just that, the 271, the 58th prime, and then the start date of the tournament's 58 date numerology. And with regards to 58, that's the big Freemasonry number. Brooks Koepka, his name is 139, also like Freemasonry. And if you did the rule for S, Brooks Koepka would actually be 58 as well. So, and you know what? If there is a three-peat narrative going on here, this ending on the day of the NBA Finals and the U.S. Open after the Canadian Open, what I'm noticing is Brooks Koepka is also 185 like basketball, 68 like basketball, 49 like Warriors. That is something to keep in mind. We just and keep in mind in the Canadian Open, you just saw Rory McIlroy with the whole Kyle Lowry riddle. So that is not out of the question. And this tournament ends on a date with 61 numerology, and finals is 61. Just like Kyle Lowry's 61 and McIlroy shot a 61 the last day of the tournament. So this whole thing with DeChambeau and Payne Stewart's very interesting as well. I remember that was a big news story at the time when Payne Stewart died in his plane. He was about 15 or 16 years old back then. Okay. Okay, but yeah, possible another NBA Finals riddle if this thing's going Game 7. And if it does go Game 7, I'll put this all in the review video too about the potential Koepka three-peat. Okay. Okay. Was there any more stones I could overturn with the Raptors and Warriors? Del Curry. Let's just see. Del Curry stats. Let's see. Del Curry. Game Finder. Either Golden State Warriors. Let's see what he did against the Warriors. $19 wins against the Warriors and 15 losses, 34 games. Interesting that he had 19 wins. Warriors dynasty, if they win this year, 2019. I think regardless of whatever happens to the Warriors, this is their last year of dominating the way they have. So. What else could I think of? Steph Curry's mom. How many days is it from her birthday to these games? She was the Mother's Day riddle, remember? And then you got the Curry brothers. Sonia Curry. Oh, yeah. And wasn't Mother's Day on? No. The NBA Finals actually started on her birthday. Her 53rd birthday. So that means today's 14 days after her birthday. Game 7 would be 17 days after. NBA's 17. Seems more like it. Well, 14's end. I guess her son's season could end, but NBA is 17, big numbers. Warriors is 59, the 17th prime. So if you've been tuning in and out, we noticed that in the games that have aligned with the word Raptors, or I should do Toronto Raptors, the Warriors are, when I say aligned with Toronto Raptors, I'm talking about from Ayesha Curry, Steph Curry's wife, 71 days after her birthday, the Warriors won, and then what was it? 79 days, Toronto, Ontario, 79, the Warriors won. Today's 82 days. The Warriors could win today. The numbers connecting to Toronto from her birthday, the Warriors are winning on. So today's 82 days. And then Game 7 will be 85 days. And again, Curry's 85 and basketball's 85. So I think the Warriors are going to live to see another day here. If they lose, they do stay at 36. Oracle's at 36. 36 home wins. Toronto's 36. But I don't know, man. There's just too many things pointing to Game 7. So I think we'll leave it there. I'll wrap it up. If anybody wants to call in any last thoughts, I'll hang around for a second. If not, I will get that review video up. Let's check in and see what's going on with our baseball games here. Ooh, the Braves took a big lead on the Pirates. Pirates are going to have to rally. Again, if the Pirates go down, they get that 38th loss. This series has followed the lesser date numerology. Braves are 3-0. If they win the game, they will be 4-0. If the Pirates come back and rally, they'll get their 31st win. Today has the 31 date numerology as well. And Braves equals 22 and 31. Twins are up on the Mariners. So we'll see. All right. Well, it doesn't look like there's any more calls. I will put up the review video, and good luck. See you guys tomorrow.